In the vast world of automobiles, some cars are born legends, crafted with precision, speed, and luxury. And then there's the Lada Niva, a car that wasn't born, but rather forged in the harsh, unforgiving landscapes of the Soviet Union. It's a car that, by all conventional standards, should have faded into obscurity. It was cheap, it was basic, and it was, well, Russian. But instead of disappearing, the Lada Niva defied all expectations and became an unlikely and frankly indestructible legend. And today we're going to find out how. The story begins in the 1970s. The Soviet government tasked its automotive giant, Avtovaz, with a seemingly impossible challenge: create a car for the rural population. This wasn't a request for a comfortable family sedan to cruise down paved city streets. This was a demand for a vehicle that could conquer the vast, roadless expanses of the USSR. It needed to handle everything from Siberian winters and muddy farmlands to the rocky Caucasus Mountains. It had to be tough, reliable, easy to fix with a hammer and a bit of ingenuity, and most importantly, affordable for the average Soviet citizen. The engineering team, led by Pyotr Prusov, looked at the existing off-roaders of the time, like the Land Rover and the Jeep, but they didn't just copy them, they innovated. Instead of the typical body-on-frame construction used by most trucks and 4x4s, they chose a unibody design, something usually found in passenger cars. This was revolutionary. It made the Niva lighter and more comfortable on the road without sacrificing its off-road prowess. They combined this with a permanent four-wheel drive system, independent front suspension, and a compact, rugged body. The result was a vehicle that drove like a car but climbed like a mountain goat. They called it the Niva, which means crop field in Russian, a perfect name for a car designed to serve the countryside. When the Lada Niva, also known as the VAZ 2121, rolled off the assembly line in 1977, it was an instant sensation. It was unlike anything else on the market. In a world of bulky, truck-like 4x4s, the Niva was a nimble, compact SUV before the term SUV even existed. It was the crossover's grandpa. Soviet citizens loved it. It could take them to their dachas in the countryside, navigate muddy tracks, and start reliably in sub-zero temperatures. It was the ultimate tool for a life lived beyond the pavement. But the Niva's ambitions weren't limited to the Soviet Union. The Soviets wanted to export it, to bring in valuable foreign currency. So they sent it out into the world, and the world was intrigued. In Europe, the Niva was a revelation. It was incredibly cheap. You could buy a brand new, capable 4x4 for the price of a basic hatchback. Drivers in the UK, France, Germany, and beyond discovered this plucky little Russian machine. They found it was perfect for farmers, adventurers, and anyone who needed a no-nonsense workhorse. It quickly gained a reputation for being an unstoppable force of nature. People started sharing incredible stories about the Niva's capabilities. There were tales of Nivas driving up ski slopes, crossing rivers, and being pulled out of ditches only to start right up and drive away. It became a cult classic. Its simplicity was its greatest strength. With a basic set of tools, almost any owner could perform repairs. The engine bay had so much space you could practically climb inside it. There were no complex electronics to fail, no fancy computers to malfunction. It was pure, unadulterated mechanical engineering. The Niva's legendary status was cemented in the grueling world of motorsport. It competed in some of the toughest rallies on the planet, including the legendary Paris-Dakar. And it didn't just compete. It finished, often ahead of much more expensive and purpose-built machines. A French team even took a Niva to a podium finish in the Paris-Dakar Rally in 1981, 1982, and 1983. This wasn't a multi-million-dollar factory effort. These were often privateer teams running on a shoestring budget, proving just how inherently tough the little Lada was. It even conquered the harshest environment on Earth, becoming the first wheeled vehicle to spend over a decade serving at Russia's Antarctic research station, Bellingshausen, where it operated flawlessly in temperatures dipping below minus 50 degrees Celsius. Of course, Niva wasn't without its quirks, let's be honest. Build quality could be inconsistent. The interiors were Spartan, to put it mildly. Comfort was an afterthought. The driving position was famously awkward. often described as the gorilla position because of the strange relationship between the pedals, seat, and steering wheel. It wasn't fast and it wasn't quiet. But for its fans, these weren't flaws. They were character traits, they were part of the Niva's charm. It was a car with a soul, a rugged personality that modern, sanitized SUVs just can't replicate. Here's the most amazing part. The Lada Niva is still in production today. Think about that. What other car from 1977 is still rolling off the assembly line in a form that is largely unchanged? The Porsche 911 has evolved. The Ford F-150 has transformed. But the Niva endures. It's now called the Lada Niva Legend, a fitting name for a vehicle that has outlived the country that created it. Over the decades, it has received minor updates, a slightly more powerful engine here, a revised dashboard there, but its core DNA remains the same. The unibody construction, the permanent 4x4, the rugged simplicity, it's all still there. So how did this cheap Russian car become a legend? It wasn't through marketing or luxury. It became a legend because it did exactly what it was designed to do. And it did it with an honesty and resilience that is almost impossible to find in the modern automotive world. It's a testament to brilliant, practical engineering. It's a car that proves you do and need a high price tag and a fancy badge to achieve greatness. You just need a clear purpose and the rugged determination to fulfill it no matter what. The Lada Niva is more than just a car. It's a survivor, an icon, and a true automotive hero. It's the little Russian car that could and still does. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into automotive history, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. Let us know in the comments if you've ever driven a Niva or have any legendary stories about one. See you next time.